Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kenny Conversation, brought to you by JEGS, the leader in high-performance aftermarket car parts. Remember to go to jegs.com because it's Christmas right around the corner. They have everything you need to fix your hot rod up, and they're telling me that they have Jeep parts and truck parts in stock right now. All right, we are starting a new segment, and it's called Driver Spotlight. And JEGS is from Ohio, and you're looking at a dear friend of mine, a great race car driver, Adam Stricker from Batavia, Ohio. Is that right, Adam?
That's right.
Yeah, Batavia, Ohio. Where is that?
We're like 45 minutes east of Cincy.
45. I've raced at like Brush Creek.
Yeah.
Lots of rocks and boulders down in there.
Yep,
Way
Florence.
back. Yeah. Well, listen, this is a new show, everyone. And Adam Stricker is the very first driver. It's called Driver Spotlight. This segment all winter long, what we are going to do is we're going to shine the spotlight on drivers that win a lot, but a lot of people don't know about them. And you're looking at a winner right now. This guy wins a lot. Adam, number 68. I guess the first time I laid eyes on you 6 years ago, you kicked my butt at Terre Haute. Where did you start racing?
So obviously, just like most people, started in go-karts. My mom and dad, they bought me my first kart, and we went racing karts. And my dad had raced the modified stuff before that, and obviously, I went with them, and then the karting stuff had went on, and my mom had got a little bit sick, so we kind of had to put the karting stuff on behind us, and that was more important. So we done that. I had good success in karting as a kid, and then my dad got back in the modified stuff from my grandfather, and he ran that for a while. Won some races, and then around 2013, he had to have some knee surgery, and so I had been testing it off and on. Like at the end of the races, they'd let me go out after the feature and make 10, 15 laps and load her up and going home. So like I said, back in 2013, he had to have some knee surgery, and he asked my grandfather if we could just go ahead and do it and put a night together and see what happens. And so we done that. And I was like the fifth or sixth race. That was actually that Brush Creek place you were talking about. I won my first race there. So ever since 2013, I ran the modified stuff, and then up until right there at 23, and I switched to the late models.
It's safe to say that you're a winner. You're very good. You win everything. Nick Hoffman is a dear friend of ours. When you were running the modified, you bought your cars from Elite, which is Nick.
Yeah.
Nick said something to me one time that struck me and made me look. He said, I really like Adam because it's just him and his grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what your grandfather means to you. Nick says it's just you and him,
Yeah.
5 years ago. Is that still the case?
Yeah, it is. Grandpa is still very, very heavily involved with my racing operation. Obviously, everything stays at his shop. So I've been very fortunate to be able to do that, to be able to work side by side with him day in and day out. He's right there with me any chance he can get, and I'm forever grateful for that. My grandpa really, really stuck his neck out for me, obviously, when we started buying cars from Nick. And Nick as well. I mean, he really, really took me under his wing, and probably is the biggest reason why I'm at where I'm at. He really pushed me to the next level, and just like he said, my grandpa is key to our success, and he's definitely someone that I probably couldn't do this without. So I'm very thankful for that.
I think a lot of people look at like a Ricky Thornton when he first started, and I always kind of joke about it. Ricky Thornton had a big fan following because he was poor and he would barely get to the racetracks and he would win. We love it when people are poor and they can hardly make it and then they win. I think when people watch you show up with your grandpa, how old is he?
He just turned 80.
Yeah, and Nick told me that. So
Works every day.
yeah. man, that's pretty incredible. Everybody wants to know, where you get your money. I could do what Adam's doing if I had money. So you're saying that your grandpa is the catalyst.
Yeah. So obviously, this late model deal isn't ours. We race for somebody, but we still put a lot of our hard earned money into it. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, my grandpa was 80 years old and he works every day. From the
He
time
loves you.
Yep, from the time I've stepped foot in a race car, he has worked every single day. He works for himself, so he's a mechanic. He works on customer cars. But I mean, at 80 years old, I've seen him, and I've got pictures to prove it. I've seen him with cabs off pickup trucks, putting motors in pickup trucks. Just to, that's what he wants to do. And at the end of the day, he's doing it for one reason, obviously for bills. But racing is something to him that is, he'll never give it up.
And Adam, when I follow you on Snapchat, you're a very hard worker. You work every day out in the elements. What do you do for a living?
So I'm a natural gas contractor. I do natural gas work. Obviously, this time of year right now, like today, it's cold. But no matter the weather, we're out in it working, and so it's definitely not easy work. But I worked with our family business there for a while, and just kind of wanted to do something different. No hard feelings. My family business there is still very heavily involved with my racing. So like I said, just want to do something a little bit different there, and just went out and seen what the real world was like, and picked a new hobby or a new field to work in.
I see that you're married to Bailey.
Hmm.
You have a 3-month daughter.
Yep.
Um, you got a job, but I guess your dream is to race. I see this all the time. Are you able to understand that you work for a living and you race for fun? What is your goal right now in life?
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, we all have a dream when we're younger. So obviously, my dream, a while back was to race full time. That's something I always want to do. Everyone always asks me like, "You think you're going to do NASCAR?" And I'd love to do NASCAR, but we got a lot of work to do before then. And me and my wife have talked about it. I mean, the option for us is there to race full time if the right opportunity was presented. Obviously, it would have to be my whole family would have to be involved as far as my wife and my daughter. Just to be able to have them there is going to be very important. But yeah, ultimately the goal is to be able to race full time, to do it for a living. Obviously, I'm close friends with JD, and that's someone I really look up to is Jonathan.
Yeah. So Adam Stricker from Batavia, Ohio, has been winning everything. You're the first driver on the driver's spotlight. You want somebody to hire you. You want to make a living running dirt super late models, and here he is, everybody. He wins everything. Just look at his social media page. He really does a good job promoting himself. Although Adam, you and I have talked a little bit. I find you a little shy, which is fine. But I tell you, when you're shy, you better win it all.
Yeah,
And when you don't run real good, you still got to promote your product.
absolutely.
Um, One thing that I noticed is Florence is your backyard, and everything around there. You won a 3,000 win late model show there, and I couldn't see the race car. There must have been 30 people in victory lane with you. You've got a lot of love around you. Tell me about that victory lane picture. I mean, you can't even, not just does it cover the car, but it goes about 5 feet past each end of the car. Tell me about all these people that love you so much and go to victory lane with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been very, very fortunate to have a very big family that backs my racing, not only financially, but emotionally as well. I mean, they're everyone that comes to the racetrack, just like my father-in-law. He's a big supporter of our racing and helps me out any way possible. Um, my uncle, they're just like I said, the family business. There's just so many people involved as far as family. There's more family there in that picture than what you see friends. And I even have employees that come to the racetrack, and that work for me every day and are there on the weekends racing with me, or whatever. Just like all the people that we have that go with us to the racetrack every week. They're people that have full time jobs. They do it for fun. I don't pay them. I pay their way in, and I'll pay their food bill or whatever. But as far as that goes, there's so many people behind the scenes. My car owner right now, Jim Beeman, tells me this all the time. There's so many people involved with our team, that you see a lot of these people go racing. They don't have that. I mean, I can count on at least 15 people to come to the racetrack, whether it's with me or drive separate or whatever, just to be there to support. So yeah, absolutely. That picture shows that I have a lot of people behind me, and I'm very, very fortunate for that.
So you started out in go-karts, you went to the UMP modifieds. We know the best have started out in UMP. Whether it's Jimmy Owens, the Newport Nightmare, Nick Hoffman, Clint Boyer went right from the modifieds. They found him in the modifieds. What is it about the modifieds that vault everybody's career?
I think part of me really feels like that the modified stuff is, in my opinion, is way harder to do than the late model stuff. I feel like you're on half the rubber, obviously. So, and then the aero is a lot less than what the late model stuff is. So I feel like an open wheel background really boosts someone to the next level of our sport. I feel like that they learn a lot in that modified stuff, and it goes both ways. I mean, the modified stuff can hurt you and it can help you. So I feel like with me switching over to the late model, there's some bad habits that I had to get rid of from the modified, um, and some stuff that would relay over. But at the end of the day, I really think that the open wheel background really can get someone going to the next level as far as, just like I said, you're running half the rubber. So you got to keep your tires underneath of you. You, of all people, know, that what it's like. So I really think that, just like I said, it makes it easier for someone to transition just a little bit, if that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
the modified stuff is harder to begin with.
So you and I talked about this, a year ago. And as you know, I do a lot of social media. The sponsors love it. It's why I do it. Social media was made for me and has helped my career. You look at Nick Hoffman right now, he's on, with the World of Outlaws. He's got a show. Uh, you realize that when you want to get sponsors, you got to promote the product. Um, are you willing to, go dirt super lot late model racing, help promote your sponsor? Are you willing to go down that path?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like right now, obviously, I don't do a show or nothing like that, but I try really, really hard to promote my sponsors in the best way I know how. Just like all, if you look at my racing suits, which is this is just me talking. You look at my racing suits. Every racing suit that I've ever had, except for two, has come out of my pockets, and I promote their business as far as I can. Um, Whether it's out of my pocket or not, because at the end of the day, they help me the best way they can. But I try my hardest, and that's something that I do really take serious as far as promoting their business. I'm not saying I'm the greatest. Obviously, I have a full time job, and
You have confidence.
yeah,
You have confidence.
yeah, and I really think that's something I can do with the right opportunity.
So what I'm doing here, as you see my eyes, I watched Nick Hoffman. I lived in North Carolina for 27 years, and I watched Nick building modifieds to this day. He'll drop his tools, he'll wash his hands, and then him and Hannah Newhouse,
Yeah,
there they are. So there's Nick
yep,
right there. You see what I'm saying?
yep,
This is the era we're in. I watched Nick do that.
hmm,
He's building race cars. He's getting his cars ready, and all of a sudden, I'm building my race car at his shop, and I watch him go wash his hands and goes right to that studio.
yep,
These dirt super late models, the motors are 50, 60 grand. We're looking at, you know, $1 million haulers. We're living on the road. What would you tell everybody that you've learned making that move from the modifieds to the dirt super late models, but yet you're still looking for somebody to pick you up because you want to do it for a living? What did you learn financially? You know, so you did the modifieds on your own. How big of a jump is that financially to go run, a full year of, World of Outlaw super late model racing? How big of a deal is that?
It's huge. I mean, most definitely. I mean, you just look at the cost aspect of it. At the end of the day, your tires are just a little bit more, and your fuel's a little bit more, but your initial cost is humongous. I mean, as far as the cars go, they're definitely more. The motors are definitely more. And what you need to race out of to be competitive with these guys that are beating up and down the road in these SNSs, and for a regional guy like me, the initial cost, like you said, or you asked, is humongous. So at the end of the day, um, it's a huge deal, and it's definitely way harder. I know what the modified stuff was like. I mean, me and my grandpa done it. Um, we beat up and down the road together, and his hauler. It was just a box truck with a little sleeping quarters on it, no shower, and a box trailer. You know what I mean? It's much harder to compete in this late model stuff. I'm very fortunate for my car owner, Jim Beeman, that he is pushing me to that level. And if you ask him, he'll tell you that he wants to get me to this next level. And I've been fortunate enough to help him out, and he's helped me out financially both ways to just keep trying to race with these guys and prove that I can do it. Just like I keep saying, the perfect opportunity has to come around, and that may not come around, but at the end of the day, you don't want to give up on your dream.
All right, everybody. This is what the driver spotlight is all about. Let this new driver talk. He's a winner. He's won everything there is to win. He's already won in go-karts, modifieds, super late models. Kenny Conversation. We have this driver spotlight. There he is. Adam Stricker, Batavia, Ohio, married, got a 3-month child. He wants to make it to the big time. His goal in life, we hear this a lot. A lot of these drivers, my goal is to be a dirt super late model racer. So whether you're Mark Richards or Lance Landers, whether you're Jeff Hoker or Petrov, help this kid out. He's put his reputation on the line. And Adam, I will never forget somebody criticizing Nick Hoffman on X. And Nick's response was, I will prove you wrong. Just give me a chance in a dirt super late model, and I will prove you wrong. And boy, he did. I
Yep.
mean, he has shut everybody up.
Yep.
He
And Nick,
come out,
just
yeah.
like I said, Nick's someone that has really boosted me to the next level. About just about everything I do racing wise obviously goes through Nick. We talk almost every day on the phone, or whether it's text or Snapchat or whatever. I mean, we talk, like I said, every day. So he knows exactly what I got going on, and he has helped me out tremendously. Like I said, with boosting me to the next level. His race cars have helped me get my name out there. If it wasn't for him, 90% of this wouldn't be possible. But like I said, I mean, I've turned to him for advice, and I've turned to him for racing setup. So it's someone that is like a brother to me. So I'm very thankful for him.
So you love Jonathan Davenport. You and him are good friends. Kyle Hammer says the same. Kyle Hammer says it. JD's coming up to his house to go hunting. It seems to me like Jonathan Davenport travels all around the Midwest using people's property up. So when you're around Jonathan, do you kind of get some lessons? I mean, he's the best.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I see him, I try not to talk about racing a whole lot, just because it's something that he is doing every day. So, but for instance, I was at the DTWC there. I ran Craig Christian's modified, and was fortunate enough to win that race there for the modified portion of that weekend. And
Big win, big win.
and so after the race was over, Hammer runs second, and so I turned the fastest lap of the race on lap 25. Coming to the checker was the fastest lap of the race, and so afterwards, Jonathan would come down. I was in tech, and he's like, "Hey, did you look at race monitor? Did you see the fastest lap of the race?" I was like, "No." And he said it was on lap 25. So he pulled out a 25-cent, a quarter, out of his pocket and said, "Here you go. Here's your fast time award, 25 cents for lap 25." So he's one of a kind, and like I said, definitely a good guy, all around good guy, and someone that most definitely young racers like myself is going to look up to. I mean, if you really dig into it and look at his background as far as in his story, I mean, it's he worked the everyday life, he worked the hard man life, and here he is.
Yeah. Let's talk. Let's end like this. Let's end with that big win at Eldora. So you got the whole world watching you, and you start mid pack, and all mixed cars, all elite cars in the top four. David Stremme, he's got his lethals. He takes out there, and all of a sudden, four elites go blowing by him, and it looks like Kyle Hammer's going to win it. And here you come. Take me in your mind. What happened. How did you find so much speed?
Yeah, so Nick told me best, and I didn't really think about this until after the race was over. We were standing on stage, and the words out of his mouth was, "Super late model racing has taught you a lot." So with that being said, Eldora is one of the most aero-dependent places that most of us race car drivers will go to, besides Volusia or something like that. Super speedway. So we get this caution with 3 to go, and I'm making my way up through there. I started 15th, and aero there, like I said, is so huge. So you're bobbing and weaving. This guy's on the top, so you got to get to the bottom. I mean, you can't go where they're at. So like I said, we got a caution with 3 to go. Kyle drives it into 1, and I thought he was for sure committed to slide me, and he never committed enough, and I just never let my momentum back out, and just stood in it, and we was either going to wreckers or checkers that go around, because the last time I had raced there in a modified, we had won from 9th, and so I was well on my way to win another big race there. So like I said, we was checkers or wreckers that go around.
All right, everybody, we'll end like that. We end on a big win at Eldora. Jonathan Davenport, Nick Hoffman. We can't brag on you anymore. And you're so young that we cannot do a 1-hour show. When I interview the young ones, 20 minutes is about max, because the older you get, the longer the shows get.
Yeah.
So you got to keep on racing. Come back on Kenny Conversation, and we'll do an hour show. But
yeah,
Adam, congratulations.
Thank you. I want to thank you for this, and nonetheless, while I got the opportunity to do it here in front of, you get a lot of viewers and a lot of fans and all that kind of stuff. So I need to thank people that have really, really stuck their neck out for me, like my car owner Jim Beeman, Matt and Amy Basham with Stainless Craft. They've really boosted me, financially to help me out, and my family business, Stricker Auto Parts. Just everybody that's really, really had my back, and want me to go to the next level. And again, you for letting me do this, and for having me on. So I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. And by the way, I'm dirty as all get out. I just left the shop. I'm grinding and grooving tires right now. So we all the same. All right, there he is, everybody. Adam Stricker, Batavia, Ohio, number 68. He wants to go big time. Listen up, late model owners. There he is. Give him a call. Do we have a phone number? How can we reach you?
Yeah. Best way, obviously best way possible is, probably Facebook or some social media. I'm obviously always on my phone. You can ask my wife. So I'm always on my phone. My email or phone number is fine too. So like I said, I have no problem talking, and most people that know me can tell you that.
And he's got a good Facebook. All right, everybody, listen. Kenny Conversation just keeps on rolling. We got Joey Logano coming up next. Joey, as you know, he is super controversial. He's only a 3-time NASCAR Cup champion, quickly becoming one of the greatest drivers of all time. As soon as you badmouth him, he just wins another championship. All right, until the next Kenny Conversation, we'll talk to you later.